The house of the Simpsons suddenly shook violently. When they ran outside, they saw an airplane flying at an extremely low altitude over the residential area. At that moment, Bart noticed that all the airplanes had changed their flight paths. The airport authorities had adjusted the flight routes to pass directly over the Simpson house. The family was tortured by the intense shaking and noise. So Homer climbed to the roof and angrily yelled at the passing planes. Lisa then suggested they go to the airport management office to file a complaint. Homer and Marge went to the complaints office, but the staff there kept passing the blame to one another, which ended in failure. A month later, the Simpson family was looking haggard from the noise and disturbance. Marge suggested moving, but before they could move, they would need to sell the house. So Homer hired a reliable real estate agent. Later, Carl and his wife seemed satisfied with the house, but Carl was curious as to why Homer was suddenly selling it. Before Marge could answer, a loud rumbling sound sent both of them flying out of the house. Marge became worried about not being able to sell the house. At this point, Lisa suggested they go see a congressman. Homer, hearing this, blamed her for not suggesting it sooner.
I've been saying it for 3 weeks, but every time I open my mouth... What?
So Homer and Marge went to the congressman's office to vent their frustrations. After hearing their story, the congressman became so angry that he collapsed and died on the spot due to the emotional stress. After the death of Congressman Wilcox, a special election would be held to fill his vacant seat. Bart then remembered that they could have Custy run for Congress, and that would solve the airplane route problem. So Bart went to find Custy and asked him for help. But Custy particularly hated the government because they always made trouble for him. Bart suggested that if Custy became a congressman, he could avoid all those troubles. Custy thought this made sense, so he agreed to run. Custy arrived at the congressman's campaign event, and all the candidates shared their views on various issues. When it was Custy's turn, he used his celebrity status to win everyone's votes.
We want Krusty! We want Krusty!
But during Custy's campaign speech, he made racist and sexist remarks, which caused him to instantly lose his advantage in the competition with the other candidates. At the same time, the planes flying over Homer's house were getting lower and lower, and eventually treating it as a temporary runway. In this dire situation, Lisa suggested that Custy needed to establish a connection with people, and that if he addressed the difficulties of the majority of citizens, people would support him. So Custy listened to the advice, and in his campaign speech, he promised that he would never stop fighting for the rights of the people. This greatly boosted the enthusiasm for his campaign. Custy was successfully elected as a congressman. At this point, he wanted to submit a bill to ban planes from flying over residential areas, but he was told that newly elected congressmen weren't allowed to submit bills. They then assigned Custy some trivial tasks to keep him busy. Seeing this, the Simpson family felt sorry for Custy, so they decided to help him. When the congressman once again refused to pass Custy's bill, Bart brought a videotape and threatened to expose the congressman's abuse of power. He blackmailed the congressman into agreeing to pass the bill. Another congressman was an alcoholic, so Homer got him drunk to convince him to support the bill. Homer pretended to be drunk and went into the parliament to cause a scene, while Lisa, in the chaos, pinned Custy's bill to the back of the Orphan Flag Act proposal using a paperclip. During the vote, Hayes and Beauregard both agreed to the bill, and as a result, Custy's proposal was successfully passed.